What is up, Astros fans? I am Jackson from Icebox Insiders. Welcome you all to our 7th episode. Thank you for listening, as always. And we've got a fun one set up right now. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of happening with this team that sets us up to have a really good, almost end of April episode. Today, we're going to be talking about Yordan Alvarez, probably Yordan Alvarez, and then a little bit more Yordan Alvarez. There's not really much else for us to talk about with this team right now. But of course, thank you all for listening. All followers and likes are much appreciated on this. But let's get into the episode. All right. Let's start with this day in Astros history. So this day in 2021, Astros legend Robel Garcia would hit a walk-off single up the middle versus the Angels, cementing himself as like a guy that we'll probably talk about for a little bit in the 2021 season. He wasn't really like some crazy all-star starting everyday guy, but the club was dealing with a little bit of injuries with Carlos Correa and some other things. So Robel Garcia had to step up, and he did so in a big way at the beginning of April. So thank you, Robel Garcia, for that walk-off win on April 23rd in 2021. But also, we've got, of course, Schwabi's favorite segment. And since Schwabi's not here, doing a solo episode, I feel like I forgot to mention that. Yeah, we're doing a solo episode today. Michael Schwab is not here with us, Schwabster. So it's just going to be me today as we talk about the team. Next week, he will be back, though. Would you rather, though? I do have Schwabi's answer on this. It was a good one. Would you rather Yordan Alvarez win the most valuable player in the American League, or Lance McCullers win the Cy Young? I'll let you think about that for a second. All right, your second's over. I don't know. This was a tough one. I wrote this one down and I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of easy. But now that I think about it, man, it's kind of difficult. Let's go over to Schwabi's answer and then I'll give you all mine. Schwabi said Lance, because that means that our pitching becomes elite, which I get that. Okay, so Schwabi's going at this more from an angle of like, if Lance is pitching well, then that means our whole pitching staff is kind of followed along behind him, which I do think is the case. What would happen? It's a good answer though. I don't know. I think I'd most likely go with Yordan. I think Yordan winning the MVP as a DH in the AL over Judge, over Cal, over Julio Rodriguez, over any of the other names that you can really think of. Roman Anthony. Who else in the AL that could be an MVP candidate? Scooball. I don't know. That's kind of it. It would be really important. And that might lead to the Astros paying him some more money to extend him for even longer, because Yordan's a free agent in 2028. Time flies, guys. Time freaking flies. So you got to get Yordan under contract soon. Dana Brown, if you still have the opportunity to extend him, please make that happen. But that ends off our first segment. Let's go to the second one, though. We got to talk about the last week, guys. We've got to talk about the last week. Man. This last week was definitely one that tested most fans. It was not easy. It was not easy at all. So let's start. We filmed and posted last Thursday before the Rockies game. The Astros had just won 2 in a row where we left off. They had started to look like they were playing better baseball. The pitching was starting to look like it was, ramping back up to be good again, although they gave up 6 runs to the Rockies that first night. That was a weird kind of bullpen game. Colton Gordon started that game. The next night, they only gave up 1 run, and then they lost on Thursday in kind of heartbreaking fashion. The offense just went stale. They lost 3-2. Ryan Weiss pitched pretty well on the mound that day. The starter for them only went 2/3 of an inning to start. So the Astros got off to a really good start in that inning. A Yordan 1-run single, and then, of course, a Joey Loperfido 1-run single before he got injured. And things were starting to look good. Then they weren't. You let Hunter Goodman hit another home run to tie the game off of you. And then, of course, you were locking them down pretty much the whole game. But the Astros just, they had so many missed opportunities. I mean, you have the bottom of the 6th inning right here. You get a walk from Isak, and you get a double from Correa. So now you've got second and third with Christian Walker, Joey Loperfido, and Cam Smith coming up. And what happens? Well, Christian Walker grounds out to the shortstop. Terrible at bat, swinging first pitch, just not going to do it right there. Then you've got Joey Loperfido striking out swinging on 3 straight balls. That's not going to get the job done either. So now you've got 2 outs. Cam Smith coming up, and he's still swinging a hot bat from the Seattle series, and he foul tips to strike out, and the inning's over. You go to the next inning. You've got a double line to left and an intentional walk. So now you got first and second with 2 outs. Then you get an Isak Paredes walk again. You get another Isak Paredes walk. You've got bases loaded for Carlos Correa, and he lines out to first on honestly a ball that I thought was going to get over his head, but that's not what ended up happening. Then you get really nothing, man. You really just get nothing else the rest of the game from the offense to try to, get some more runs. After the first inning, the offense went stale. And that's what happens. You can't expect the offense to do good every game. This is not a game that I'm concerned about. The pitching actually did well. They held up their own. They pitched pretty well this game. You had Brian Abreu make an appearance. He didn't do well. Kaiwei Tang, who's been an absolute shocker. I feel like he's done well. We're going to talk about him a little bit as we get to the preview of what's going to happen. But yeah, Kaiwei Tang has stepped up big time. But then after this loss on Thursday, you jump into these next couple games where you've got Cardinals versus Astros on Friday night. And this one just did not go well at all. Did not go well at all. You started off by giving up a run in the first inning just because Peter Lambert just could not locate. He could not locate. He gave up a single. He gave up another single and then a single to Jordan Walker. And it's a 1-run start for them. Then they hit a 2-run single. Now you're down 3-0. You're down 3-0. And that's when the bats kind of woke up. You got a Christian Vasquez solo homer. And this is when we saw the Hombrero come out a little bit. And that was really fun to watch. Then Yordan Alvarez hits another homer, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Yordan is got his own segment this episode. So we're going to be talking about that. But the offense just really did nothing after that. They hit 3 homers this game, and that was it. That's all we saw. That's all she wrote. So Peter Lambert did not do bad that game, though. 5 innings pitched, gave up 4 earned runs, struck out 8. What really went wrong this game was the bullpen. It was really ugly. You had 3 runs allowed in the 7th, 2 runs allowed in the 8th, and you let them get 10 hits off of you. JP France gave up 2. Brian Abreu gave up 3 after giving up a 3-run bomb. Yeah, just not fun. Just not fun at all. Nolan Gorman decided to actually wake up and hit. So you lose that. Now it's 2 in a row after looking like the team was back. But it's okay because you can bounce back Saturday. So Saturday we go and look. This team just honestly hadn't really done much. If I'm going to be honest with you, they lost on Saturday 7-5, but it was looking like it was going to be better. It was looking like, hey, this team might have it. That 7-5 is not strong. That's Saturday's game was not good at all. 7-5 is not what should have been the final score because Shea Whitcomb had a 3-run homer in the 9th. We were down 7-2 going into the 9th, and for some reason, Shea Whitcomb decided to have a 3-run bomb in a moment that didn't really matter. But I don't know. Watching this game, it was pretty ugly. Lance just could not locate, which is something that he's still kind of working on. He's working on being more consistent. I think this is kind of a issue with pitch calling and a mixture of Lance McCullers just not being as confident in some of his breaking pitches as right now where it stands. His curveball doesn't have the same spin rate as it once did, and his sweeper just isn't that pitch anymore. It's not the same pitch anymore, which is why he's trying to force the curveball more, and the sweeper has been getting hit around. Lance McCullers is a fastball pitcher now, which is something that me and Schwabi have talked about a lot over the last couple of weeks. You've got to be able to locate these other pitches. The Astros had 4 hits this game too. So that definitely doesn't help. Lance McCullers is going out there, and honestly, most of his innings were good except for really 2 of them. One of them being the first inning when, again, this is really when the location issues just wasn't really working. He hit 2 pitches to start the game. But it's all right. Then you move to Sunday. And this game was a heartbreaker. Wow. This game was a heartbreaker. The Astros lost 7-5 in the 10th inning to get swept by the Cardinals. And really just not a good win or not a good loss there. This is one that if you miss the playoffs by a game, you look back on and you go, we should have won that game. And it kind of sucks because it kind of feels like the Astros have had a lot of those this year. Feels like the Astros have had a lot of games this season where it's like, I don't know. Sorry for the pause there. I was gathering my thoughts, but it really does feel like the Astros have had a lot of games this year where you can look back on if you miss the games, if you miss the playoffs by 1 game like you did last year, you're going to be like, wow, I should have won that game in Seattle. Or, wow, we should not have lost to the Cardinals because we gave up 3 runs in the 10th inning. Or, wow, we should not have lost those first 2 games to the Angels to start the season. Or whatever it may be, you're going to look back and go, some pretty ugly, ugly losses that have occurred for this team that you can't afford to have, whether it's in April or whether it's in September. And that's what makes these games so important, because this Astros team has a killer mentality. This Astros team has a strong, strong, strong brand of baseball behind it. We're going to hit the ball. We're going to hit the ball well. We're going to walk. We're going to take pitches. We're going to get your pitcher out of the game by the 4th or 5th inning, which has been a common occurrence for most pitchers versus the Astros this year. But the pitching hasn't held up their side of the bargain. Has that changed a little bit? Yes. This series versus the Cardinals, this is one of the top offenses in baseball. You gave up 9 runs, 7 runs, 7 runs. Not good. Not good. But then you get on a plane and you go to Cleveland, right? The first game in Cleveland, the Astros absolutely locked in. Slade Sassoni gave up 6 earned runs, 7 runs total, 5 innings pitched. And honestly, the offense looked really, really good this game. I'm going to read out everything that happened. Keep in mind, this is a game where Yordan Alvarez underperformed. This is a game where you had Carlos Correa go 3 for 5 in the leadoff. You had Yordan go 1 for 5 with no RBIs. You had Christian Walker go 3 for 5 with his new mustache, which is awesome. Isaac Paredes go 3 for 5. Taylor Trammell go 1 for 1 before having to leave the game with yet another injury, which, by the way, the Astros have 17 people on the injured list right now. 17 people on the injured list. I'll talk about that in a second after I get done with this. Yander Diaz 1 for 4. Bryce Matthews 1 for 3. And the pitching just did incredible, allowing only 2 runs. Spencer Arrighetti went 5 innings pitched, gave up 2 earned runs, struck out 3, and has a 2.45 ERA on the season so far. Spencer Arrighetti has looked phenomenal so far, whether you're talking about this Cleveland game or whether you're talking about the game versus the Rockies when he struck out 10. Spencer Arrighetti has been a guy that the Astros should have started the season with on the roster and has shown that in the last 2 games that he's pitched, because if we needed anything, if the Astros needed anything from Spencer Arrighetti, it was quality innings. And that's exactly what he's provided to the team right now. And he's showing Dana Brown, I should have started the season on a 6-man rotation. That's what he's doing. And I'm so proud of you, Spence. You're pitching amazing. But on the other hand, we've got the injured list. The Astros currently, as I'm speaking to y'all right now, have 17 different people on the injured list. And it just doesn't seem to come to an end. Nick Allen just got hurt. Taylor Trammell just got hurt, and others. If we want to talk about pitchers that are getting hurt, people are dropping like flies, and it honestly sucks to watch. And, you get Dustin Harris come into the game and get drilled in the hand by a pitch, and then you got Daryl Johnson that comes into the game, and he gets absolutely nailed in the back. It's stuff like that it's just like, wow, this team really is unlucky, and it's happening right in front of our eyes, and people still have the audacity to go, maybe the dynasty's over. Not so much, guys. This is an unlucky franchise that we're watching right now, but they're going to overcome the odds. If you can't see behind me, I got the believe sign up, so I flipped a switch, everybody. But then you go into the second game versus Cleveland, and honestly, this was just ugly. I mean, I've got no other way to put it. This was just ugly. Ryan Weiss actually didn't pitch bad, but yet again, you fall into the same trap that this team has been falling into time and time and time again. The Houston Astros walk more hitters than any other team in baseball. They walk guys upon guys upon guys, and you saw no less of it with Ryan Weiss on Tuesday, right? He walked 4 people in 3 1/3 innings. And the night before, Spencer Arrighetti walked a couple guys. And the night before against St. Louis, they walked a couple guys. It just doesn't fall short. They keep walking hitters. And when you walk hitters, that leads to runs. You've got to do more. You got to do better, guys. Throw the ball in the zone. Unfortunately for Ryan Weiss, it didn't really work because he still gave up 2 earned runs on 5 hits. He's got a 6.5 ERA, which I do think is inflated because he's been coming out of the bullpen quite a little bit. And the outing in Colorado really doesn't help when that was just straight up bad luck. Brian King gave up 3 earned runs. Kind of overused him. Kind of overused Brian King there. Made him throw a lot of pitches. Or no, that wasn't that outing. That was the outing in St. Louis. Made him throw pitches after throwing 40 pitches for St. Louis on Sunday. But, Yordan Alvarez, of course, did his thing. He had 2 doubles, making his OPS go up. Carlos Correa went 2 for 4. You had Cam Smith go 2 for 4, Bryce Matthews go 2 for 3. Honestly, these guys pitched pretty well. Kai Tang, though, was definitely the highlight of the night for me. He went 2 2/3 innings pitched, allowing no hits, allowing no runs, and walking one guy on 2 strikeouts. Kai Tang has a 1.65 ERA on the season. He has looked absolutely phenomenal. He's looked absolutely phenomenal. He's done more than enough. He's made more than enough changes to be one of the guys that the Astros can rely on, along with Iñigo De Los Santos, along with Brian King, along with Brian Abreu once Josh Hader's back, because we all know that's what Brian King needs now. Brian Abreu needs now. He's looked phenomenal at the back of the bullpen, and I've loved watching Kai Tang sprout into his own kind of player with his own profile now. It's been great. But then you go to today's game. The Houston Astros played the Cleveland Guardians yet again on a getaway day at noon, and it was a good outcome. The Astros saw really, really good pitching. It starts with Peter Lambert. He would go 6 innings pitched. He'd get 3 hits against him, and he'd only allow what was that? Oh, no, he'd walk 3, but give up 0 earned runs. He'd also strike out 8, and he now has a 3.27 ERA on the season. Something about Peter Lambert, and it's something that me and Schwab will probably talk about after he makes another start by next week, which I would assume will probably come on Monday or Tuesday. So we will be talking about it on another episode. Peter Lambert has a really weird fastball. It's quite peculiar. You saw a lot of hitters today for the Guardians swing and miss right through it. And it was really, really cool to watch. Peter Lambert did a really good job mixing up his pitches, mixing up his signals, mixing up his signs. It was really fun to watch. Jose Ramirez couldn't hit his fastball. Chase Lauder couldn't hit his fastball. Gabriel Arias couldn't hit his fastball. Bud Naylor couldn't hit his fastball. And he gets up to 97. Peter Lambert is definitely a guy to watch, Astros fans. He's someone that could stick around for a while they're coming back from all these injuries. Then, of course, your GOAT, Yordan Alvarez, went 3 for 4. He hit another bomb in the first inning today. But the rest of the offense did absolutely nothing. Tanner Bybee and company really shut down Houston's offense today. But at the end of the day, this team is still finding ways to win games. They won this one 2-0. They now sit at 10-16 on the season. Really ugly record, but it's okay. The Yankees come to town this weekend, and a sweep would be huge. Can I guarantee a sweep? Probably not, but it would be really nice. I think Max Fried pitched this series, if I can be so sure. Let me check for y'all. I'm pretty sure Max Fried pitched this series versus Boston. He's pitching tonight versus Boston. So I think that there's a good feeling going back to Houston, knowing that you won't have to face their ace or Cam Schlittler, who has been absolutely phenomenal for them this season. There's definitely some confidence on that plane. It would be huge to take 2 or 3 versus the Yankees. It would be massive to sweep the Yankees, and it would be really, really bad if you don't win 2 or 3. So you got to come in swinging. You got to come in pitching really well. You got Lance McCullers on Friday. Actually, we'll get to that in a little bit, but water break. Let's get to the next segment. And this is one that we're probably going to get 800 million clips out of. Yordan Alvarez. I feel like you could say that name 100 million times. This guy is right now the American League MVP. And let me just start from the top. Yordan Alvarez is the best hitter in Major League Baseball, and it's not necessarily close. This guy has been doing things on the field that I have never seen a player do before. I've never seen Yordan do it before. I've never seen Ohtani or Aaron Judge do this before. This guy is absolutely phenomenal, and it's awesome to watch. I mean, he goes up there with authority. He went 3 for 4 versus Cleveland Wednesday yesterday, and he just continues to terrorize teams. He goes up there and just hits with authority, with power, with contact. He's got insane numbers. I mean, let me read this out to you. Where we stand right now at the time of filming this video, Yordan Alvarez, compared to all American League people, is first in batting average at 347, first in hits at 33, first in RBIs with 26, first in homers with 11, first in OPS at 1.245, and first in total bases. There's not a person close to him. There's not a person close to him. If the season ends today, Yordan Alvarez would win the Triple Crown. Yordan Alvarez would win the Triple Crown. And to think about that is insane. This guy is so phenomenal at hitting baseballs. And no one even talks about the fact that He walks at an extremely high clip. He's got more walks and strikeouts right now. He's got 6 intentional walks on the season. People don't want to face him. People don't want to face Yordan Alvarez because he poses such an immense threat. Yordan Alvarez has been phenomenal for the Houston Astros, and I have loved watching it. I can't begin to explain how much he means to this franchise. And I want to address seeing something on Twitter the other day from Talking Baseball. The Yankees fans up north that just think that they can dictate all the trades that happen in the league. Talking Jake decided that he wanted to entertain the idea of Yordan Alvarez getting traded. And there was another guy that I've never heard of before on there, so I'm not going to talk about him. But really? And then this gets brought up yet again by Bleacher Report. It was on the Bleacher Report app, and I'm sure I can find it. Let me open the Bleacher Report app. I still have it downloaded. Entertaining. I don't have it downloaded, so I'm not going to. But completely just entertaining the idea of Yordan Alvarez getting traded this offseason or at the trade deadline. Why would the Houston Astros do that? Why would you ever look at Yordan Alvarez and go, okay, you look like you're starting to get at the peak of your career. You look like you're starting to hit like we knew you could. You're finally having a healthy season. You're finally doing all the things that you know you're capable of. We're only paying you a little amount of money to be the guy that makes big bucks, right? And you want to stay in Houston. You love being in Houston. You love being a winner here with us because that's all you've ever done with Houston. All you've done is win. All you've done is win. So we're going to trade you. Do you know how stupid of a thought that is for a human being to have? Because I compared this to other things on a video that I made for my personal channel. If the Yankees got off to a slow start like the Astros did, no one would say, let's trade Aaron Judge. If the Padres got off to a slow start like the Astros did, no one would say, let's trade Fernando Tatis or Jackson Merrill. If the Dodgers got off to a slow start, no one would say, let's offload Shohei Ohtani or Freddie Freeman. No. Why would that get said? You know why it wouldn't get said? Because it's stupid. Because it's a stupid thought. It doesn't make any sense. And you can compare that to any other competitive team in the league. If the Phillies started to slow down and everything just wasn't looking as well, they're not going to think about trading Zach Wheeler. If the Reds started to slow down and things just weren't looking good, they're not going to trade Ellie De La Cruz. Because why would they trade Ellie De La Cruz? Their star-studded shortstop with top speed and one of the best hitters in baseball as we currently speak is not going to get traded. So why would the Astros go? It's April. Tough start to the season because we've gotten injury riddled and just can't stay healthy on the field. Let's trade Yordan. You won't, and you wouldn't. Why? Why would you ever think that? It's just stupidity. And I don't know. But I'm sure all Astros fans, like the pod or not, you can come to an agreement on that. That doesn't make any sense. So another reason that I just think talking baseball online is just, pure idiocracy. If you don't know ball, you probably shouldn't be talking about it. Let's be real. But at the end of the day, Yordan Alvarez is the best hitter in the game right now. And that's something that all Astros fans can go to sleep happy about. You're also 10-16 and you're only 3 games back in the division. So it's another thing you can be kind of happy about. But now we get to another part of this episode that I have written down that I think definitely needs to be talked about. The pitching. It has been a lot better. The pitching has been a lot better. And we kind of talked about this as we were recapping the last week. Some of these things are really hard to look at, but you're watching a pitching staff right now that is without Christian Javier, without Hunter Brown, without Tatsuya Ime. You've got guys like Lance McCullers and Mike Burrows and Peter Lambert and Spencer Arrighetti stepping up and Cody Bolton stepping up. Actually, I think he just got put on the IL, so not even Cody Bolton. Jason Alexander is going to get called up eventually. Man, I don't even know who's our other starter right now. Because what the heck? Tuesday, who pitched for us? Ryan Weiss is our other starter right now. So you've got Ryan Weiss and Colton Gordon who are also on the roster. If I had to make a decision right now, I'd put AJ Blueball as a starting pitcher. Is that going to happen? No. But I think that the pitching is definitely starting to lean better. The bullpen definitely got a boost after the phenomenal performance by Peter Lambert yesterday, who if I had to vote, I think Peter Lambert is our 3 right now. He should be a guy we consistently go to pitch. He'll give you high quality innings with high quality control and high quality pitch to contact. And he also throws pretty fast, so he can develop strikeouts. This is a good pitcher right here. This is a guy that once guys are healthy, you might need to have a conversation. Hey, this guy's pitching great this season. A Ronald Blanco 2024 situation. So stuff like that makes a big difference. But it's definitely fun to watch this team start to fit back into shape. Kai Tang is a guy that I wanted to talk about. 1.65 ERA coming out of the bullpen, and he's just absolutely been incredible. You watch Kai Tang pitch, and it's like, wow, this guy is not the guy that people were saying, oh, well, he has a career 5 ERA with the Giants. He's not going to be good. Well, the Giants don't develop like the Houston Astros do, and that's pretty obvious now that we're looking at this. The only issue is we do need to throw some more strikes. Watching Ryan Weiss pitch, not a lot of strikes. You use a lot of waste pitches, and I don't think that's on pitch calling. I think a lot of this I've been able to lean back and go, okay, the pitch calling hasn't been strong, so these guys need to start filling the zone. I'm starting to lose faith in that theory and starting to think that these guys just don't have good command over their fastball, which definitely could be a possibility. Is there something wrong with that? No, because all major leaguers have command of their fastball. That's not something to forget about. But there's definitely something going on with mechanical issues that we're just not seeing right now, because it's common to miss arm side with a lot of these guys. It's common to miss wide of the zone with a lot of these guys. So they're either trying to be way too pinpoint accurate because of the new ABS system. You don't want to hang pitches. You want to get pitches that you can sneak away and tap your head 3 times and challenge, or they literally just can't throw it for a strike, which is kind of hard to believe. So I would say that the team's probably trying to be too accurate right now. On the pitching side of things, they're trying to be too direct. They're trying to get contact. They're trying to avoid giving up homers and long balls and, bloopers and stuff, because they're scared of what happened 2 weeks ago with Oakland. They're scared of what happened last weekend with Seattle. They're scared of what happened with a lot of stuff that has just punished the Astros over the last month, that they're like, we want to avoid that situation the best that we can. So, I definitely see this team getting better with pitching. Ryan Weiss, I think, will step up. He'll come back into form. You don't just make that jump from Japan back to the MLB immediately. But I think Peter Lambert's going to be a good guy. I think Mike Burrows, he had a perfect game against the Cardinals not too long ago into the 5th inning, and then gave up a bloop single, and then another bloop infield single, and then a walk, and then the wheels fall off, right? So it's stuff like that. And Joe Spada, left him in. He trusted him for a second, but then didn't let him finish the inning after he gave up 2 runs. So it's stuff like that you look at this team and you go, guys, we got to get our heads on, right? We need to be focused. We need to be dialed in. We've got to be making quality pitches as much as we can. That goes for Lance too, right? Lance, I love you, brother, but let's dial in here. You play a very competitive sport with a team that's trying to stay competitive, and we believe in you. So you're going to get back into it. Mike Burrows is going to get back into it. He's still young. He's got mentors like Lance and like Hunter Brown that he can also look up to that will definitely help him. And this is a good group of guys. I have faith in this group of guys. I really do. I wouldn't lie to y'all. I do think that this team, that this group of guys, I think that this squad can go out there and make an impact, but it's not going to be easy. So that's where you got to start with the mindset that this isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome. This isn't going to be an easy thing to just build off of. This is going to be something that you got to focus up on. You got to do better with it. And then finally, I just want to talk about what's coming up. The Astros have a really big series starting tomorrow versus the Yankees. You've got Lance McCullers going on Friday. You have Mike Burrows going on Saturday. And then you've got Spencer Arrighetti going on Sunday. 3 very good quality arms right there. That's 3 very, very good quality arms right there. The bullpen, Peter Lambert basically saved them by going 6 innings. So you get a day off on Thursday, and then you only had to cover 3 innings on Wednesday. So going into this Yankees series, you're refurbished, right? The Yankees offense is also, other than Giancarlo Stanton, kind of sluggish right now. It's kind of like, wake up. You hope that they don't wake up versus the Astros, but of course, this is a big series for both teams. The Yankees love hitting in Houston, and the Astros love hitting in New York. So hopefully the Astros love hitting in Houston this time, and we can get this show on the road, because you could leave that series with 13 wins and only 3 games back of being 500 again. And you need to start stacking wins. The Astros need to start stacking wins as quick as possible. After this Yankee series, I'm pretty sure you've got a tough one yet again. You play after the Yankees, you play the Orioles in Baltimore. Then you play Boston in Boston. Then you come back and you play the Dodgers for 3. Then you play the Reds in Cincinnati for 3. Then you have another 4-game series versus the Mariners, this time at home. So the Astros need to start stacking wins. The Mariners series is not going to be easy. They play us like it's the World Series. We never beat the Reds. So you got to go in there and make a difference there. And then the Dodgers, of course, are the Dodgers. So that stadium, the Daikin Park, is going to be filled with Dodgers fans. And that's not a fun thing. So you've got to be able to start stacking wins. Like I said, you got to do better. And pitching's got to wake up. You don't have Hunter Brown. You don't have Christian Javier. And you don't have Tatsuya Ime building up right now. Tatsuya Ime should be back a lot sooner than Javier and Hunter Brown, though. He's starting to throw bullpens and stuff again. So I think we could see him by that Dodgers series, which would be pretty fun to see. But guys, of course, it's always an honor. I really do appreciate everybody for listening. This is episode 7. Very grateful that we're 7 episodes in now. So if you liked it, please drop a like. And if you love the podcast, drop a follow and put on notifications so that you can listen whenever new episode comes out every single Thursday. We love each and every one of you. This is Jackson from Icebox Insiders checking out. We'll see you all next week. And hopefully the Houston Astros have bounced back in a big, big way. Peace.
Let's kill out.